Yo, yo, yo.
What intro is that? I didn't realize Lil Wayne was in the house.
I was about to start dropping some bars, but then I cracked under the pressure. I got flustered.
Yeah, no, I think stick to podcasting.
Oh, man, that was
Welcome to the Best of the Rest podcast. This is Sticks and Fraser. Sticks thinks he's a rapper.
Yeah, I do. Word.
Right. Enough of that. Maybe you're in the spirit of battles. Thought it was a rap battle instead of a teammate battle.
Yeah, I think that's where my confusion.
You're easily confused. Easily confused.
Right, today's pod, teammate battles.
Teammate battle.
The prediction of which driver we think will win or finish higher in the driver standings for each team.
Yep, in their little duel. The one battle that probably means the most to a driver, other than winning the championship, is the direct gauge of how you go against your teammate.
And you hear it all year, don't you? Oh, the only true comparison, your teammate.
Yep, there is truth to it.
There is.
Truth.
Gets a little bit old, but...
It does. It does.
Just, team orders come into play and you can't see some ferocious battling on track that we'd like to see between.
Well, I'm hoping there's going to be some ferocious battling this year because there's Ferrari, they got a 7-time world champion, and Charles Leclerc, who maybe should have already been a champion, maybe will be in the future. Norris and Piastri, winning constructed duo. Verstappen and Lawson, the current GOAT, 4-time running with Lawson coming in as a new fella. Russell, he's up there. Maybe he should have a championship to his name. Maybe not. Up for debate. With Antonelli, who a lot of predicting is...
Oh, there's so much hype.
There's a lot of hype.
So much hype.
He's the next big thing. He's the next Verstappen, next Hamilton, whatever. I've heard it all.
Quick one for you.
Yes.
If you were coming into the sport in Antonelli's shoes, would you prefer all the hype that he's same position that he's in now, essentially, or would you rather come in a little bit under the radar like some of the other fellas that are on the grid this year that you sort of haven't hear a whole lot of chat about? What would get the best performance out of you?
If I was in his shoes, I'd probably prefer a size 9, mainly black with a bit of metallic blue. That'd be some great shoes.
That's your style?
To be in.
Yeah. Sick. What brand would you want sponsoring you?
Nike.
Yeah.
If I was in Antonelli's, I think I'd rather a bit more of like an underdog type scenario. Like not getting trash talked, but not getting hyped up so the expectations are through the roof. Every movement you do, people already know who you are. You're probably getting photographed in the street, like stop for signatures, and you haven't even done an F1 race yet.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. Like, it's so full on that you set the bar so high that the distance below that bar is massive.
Yeah.
So even if Antonelli has a good season, there's still going to be people that are going to go, oh, I thought he was supposed to be the next Verstappen. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Whereas, a rookie, say if he finishes in the top 10, that'd be an awesome result for a rookie, really.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might go, oh, 10th, 9th, 8th, whatever. Oh, geez, that's low. I thought he was going to be top 3.
And especially a rookie is he 18 this year? Around that anyway.
Yeah.
Still a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, you think back to when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way you're going to be stepping into a race seat that's worth millions of dollars a year, and the pressure and the eyeballs and the expectation and having to perform.
Yeah.
It's it's almost a little bit trial by fire. I feel like if you started in Williams, no one's really expecting you to do anything mental, and you can build your reputation quicker, where it's like I feel like you can damage it from the rip. A lot of pressure. Yeah,
I'd probably prefer starting in a lower team, lower expectations, get a feel for it, get a feel for the speed of the sport itself, and the public eye, and start ramping it up from there.
He could end Russell's career if he comes out and dominates him in his first season. That's wild.
He could just about end a lot of careers. If a new kid, 18 or whatever he is, just comes in and starts winning races and challenging for a championship, then
I would love to see it.
Yeah, it'll put lots of question marks on keeping people around. And like we've already seen, is there 5 or 6 rookies this year that could shake up Formula One as a sport in whole, just in itself.
How tight is that contract between Mercedes and Antonelli? It'd want to be bloody watertight because everyone's going to come knocking if he pulls on a blinder first season.
Oh, yeah.
Red Bull especially.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be hot property. Just had a quick count up and can confirm it's 6 for this year.
That's wild.
Lawson, Antonelli, Doohan, Behrman, Hadjar, Bortoletto.
Very, very interesting. All right, so let's run through a few teams.
No particular order.
All right, off the rip, Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. So we've got Alonso and Stroll. I said that I predict that Alonso will
Finish higher?
finish higher.
Yeah, I've got the same. Pretty obvious here. Stroll's shit. Alonso's goated. Enough said.
Yes, I think Stroll's time's limited in the sport. Alonso will die in a Formula One car. That sounded...
Fucking hell.
That's not how it was meant to sound. Ooh. That was meant to be...
Clip that.
No. Let's edit. No.
Editor, trim that one out.
Alonso will be driving forever is how that was meant to come out.
Yes, in heaven.
Sure. Let's move on.
Yeah, just quick one on Stroll before we move on.
Yeah.
It honestly does seem like his interest levels are just less and less. I don't know if it's just because he doesn't give a fuck about the interviews. So what we see of him talking is just like a fucking spoiled kid.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't seem to give a shit, and he's not improving enough considering the time that he spent in the sport to really hold that seat down. He's not a terrible driver by any extent, really. Like he's okay, but
2019, 2020, he wasn't bad, but after that, he just dropped off. He's lost interest. I don't even know if he's interested in Formula One anymore. There's talks about him moving to a different category, and
I think that'd be best.
Encourage it, and not just as in like because he's probably not the best in Formula One, but it'd probably be good for him.
New lease on life.
Yeah,
and yeah, if you're in the sport for 10 years, you're the best of the best, and he just hasn't reached that level.
No, for his not his level of expertise, but level of experience, he probably should have achieved a lot more or be progressing, not declining, really.
And like, what's Aston Martin's end goal here? Like 26, new regs, Adrian Newey working on the car. Realistically, they're probably shooting for a top 3, if not a constructors win over those next few years. You probably can't do that with... Well, Alonso, how many years has he got left? And Stroll is not a championship level driver.
Yeah.
So they need to get serious about that.
If they actually do have the money to throw around like they have been rumoured to try and, offer a very lucrative deal to Max Verstappen.
Have they talked B?
Yeah. I think it was $1 billion over a few years or something.
How the fuck? That's just wild.
Yeah.
$1 billion?
I think it was $1 billion over 5 years or something like that. Don't quote me to it, but yeah, it was big dosh.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll jump on to another team. Sauber.
Stake Sauber. I've gone for Hulkenberg over Bortoletto.
Yeah, same. I didn't try and rewrite the script with that one. I think Hulkenberg's a gun. The car's probably going to be average or below average.
Yeah.
But you can't really see unless Bortoletto is a gun. Good luck beating Hulkenberg.
Yeah. Like there's been a lot rumoured. Like he won F3 and F2 consecutively, same as what Piastri has done. And now looking at what he's doing in F1. But I don't know. I just can't see Bortoletto jumping into a Sauber and beating Hulk, who's, he's a very experienced driver. I don't know how he's never gotten a podium, let alone won a race.
I've got a feeling these boys might as well be farmers this year. They'll be out there in the back of that tractor, mate.
Yeah, they'll be...
there won't be anyone to battle. It'll be a piece of shit.
They'll be raking fields and tossing hay.
Out there with their straw hat.
Yep.
RB, Sonoda and Hadjar.
What did you have, big boy?
Yeah, pretty Pretty standard, mate. I reckon Sonoda will wipe the floor with Hadjar. Hadjar, haven't heard a whole lot, but what I have heard is he's sort of hit and miss. He's got good raw pace, but crashes a lot. And actually, a few people have compared him to Sonoda in his early days in Formula One, where what he did show was great, but then he would have stupid crashes, which, doesn't keep you in the sport very long.
Yeah.
You sort that out.
I've seen Hadjar's obviously got a lot of talent, and I saw how quick his hands were where he avoided that crash in Monaco in F2. I think it might have been a quali session or something.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah, came around through the tunnel. Someone was sitting on the inside.
On that blind corner.
On the blind corner. And he came round and went to cut towards the inside for the racing line. And the car was there and just quickly whipped back.
That's like pure instinct.
Yeah, like you've got to see the footage to understand it. It is like crazy, just pure instincts. Just
dead set craziest probably bit of footage you see from Formula season.
I don't know how that wasn't a massive crash, and that would have been horrendous.
That could have been a death, honestly. Like that was just insane.
Yeah, but super quick hands. So obviously super quick, super talented driver. I think he finished second in F2 behind Bortoletto in the season just gone. So he's no mug, but
he was years before that. Apparently, he's a bit mid.
I can't really see him getting on top of Sonoda.
I think it's going to be an interesting year for him. I don't know how Red Bull are going to play it now. It feels like now the Perez card has been played and they've shaken things up. Do they go back to their ruthless ways? And if he doesn't perform a half season, does he get booted and someone else steps up?
Yeah.
Don't know. Like, are they going to bring back that ruthlessness that they're known for?
Yeah. Or is there the option there of him and Lawson swapping if Lawson doesn't perform or, I'm not sure.
But, Sonoda should get the job done.
I agree.
Haas.
I've gone for Ocon over Behrman.
This is where I threw a bit of a spanner in the works. I'm going to back in Behrman to get the job done over Ocon.
Yeah, I like it. I can see that happening. But I think Ocon's probably just a bit too consistent. I think Behrman was in a wet race and struggled tremendously, whereas Ocon thrived like that.
That's where his talent rises to the surface.
Yeah. Like Ocon and Gasly, in that matter of fact, when the two Alpines are on the podium, they're probably two of the drivers that I rate highest in the wet. Obviously, like Verstappen and the guys are the guns anyway, but in terms of more kind of usual midfield drivers.
Well, it's just a different style of racing that you can see the drivers that have had more exposure to that over their career, whether, the country they've grown up, where they're doing a lot more driving in the wet. And when that comes around, it's just wild.
Yeah.
Like, you just see that switch come on and those drivers can just get the most out of that car, and it's fucking impressive, really.
Yeah, it is.
Rightio. So that'll be an interesting one. See whether Behrman can get the job done. I just think he's shown a lot for a rookie. His raw pace, did a good job in the Ferrari when he was thrown in there on no preparation. So what can he do with the full season? Don't know. Just unreal. A bit of a wild card, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Alpine.
I've gone Gasly over Doohan.
Same.
Yeah.
This is a hotly debated topic already. Not the comparison between these two drivers, but Doohan himself. They reckon that he may be on the chopping block before he's even sort of had a crack at it.
And probably nothing against Doohan either, but the way that Colapinto drove for Williams, and then he doesn't have a seat, and Alpine have already signed him as a reserve driver for something ridiculous like 5 years. It's like, why would you accept that contract as a reserve driver? Yeah, just to sit there and observe data and do sim sessions.
I think realistically, Colapinto has proven that he can do it at the top level.
Yeah.
So now it's up to Doohan to more or less replicate what Colapinto has done to hold on to that seat. Yeah. If he doesn't, like, you hear the rumours, he's only got a 5 or 6 race contract or whatever, but let's just say he's got half a season. He's got half a season to start performing at a higher level like Colapinto, or else they're going to go, see you, mate.
Yeah.
In goes Colapinto.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, these drivers get a chance, whether it's through like Lawson and the Ricardo injury of a couple of seasons ago. That sort of thing pops up and a driver jumps in and shows what they can do. Even Behrman, when was it Signs when he got injured or whatever?
So Signs was the
Was it the appendix? Yeah.
for the Ferrari, and then Magnussen was sick in the Haas.
So like two of those things pop up.
He's had two in the same year,
and
different teams.
He gets to have a crack. Like that's pretty impressive.
And he scored points in both of those actually. So
you show what you're capable of. All of a sudden you've done one or two races in Formula One, and now everyone's looking at this Behrman kid. Like, he would have been on teams' radar, but once you've got that Formula One experience, you just rise to the top.
Oh yeah.
So yes, Dillon's got a lot of pressure. Hopefully he can perform. I mean, that car should be okay. Like, he really should. I'm guessing, obviously speculation, but he should have a car under him to really be challenging for points.
Yeah.
Just, that immense pressure from the get-go it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, definitely.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Oh, Stroll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Williams.
Science will beat Albon.
I've agreed with you on that one.
My main man.
Your man.
Carlos.
He's up there for my man too.
I'm just hoping that, I just hope it's like a healthy battle between them and they push Williams forward. I think they probably have a good dynamic. I rate both drivers, even though Albon was copping shit, but I mean, he had a couple bad races. I don't think he was as bad as what everyone sort of likes to make out.
No.
But yeah, keen for that one.
Yeah, I think I've always kind of rated Albon as a good driver, possibly great driver, but he's always had some questionable teammates. So I'm so fucking interested to see when Sainz goes in there that you know what he can do.
Is he the real deal?
Yeah. So it'll be a great comparison for the two of them. See where Albon's actually at, or see where Sainz can take the car.
Well, realistically, if Albon comes out and beats Sainz, then, that just increases Albon's stocks. Maybe a top team looks at him and goes, Albon's done this, this, and this. This is his CV.
Yeah.
Give him a crack.
Yeah.
It's there's just so much going on this season. I'm so fucking hyped for it.
Oh, man. I'm so keen. It's unreal.
All right, Mercedes. Pretty standard for me. I reckon Russell will get the job done over Antonelli purely on experience. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's a good few races where Antonelli beats Russell.
Yeah.
But I think the consistency and the experience from Russell will result in higher points come the end of the season.
Yeah, I've agreed with that one 100% as well. Exactly the same of what you're thinking. Just Russell's just going to be a lot more consistent. I think Antonelli is looking quick from a couple of those practice sessions and stuff last year, but
also crashy.
Yeah, a bit crashy, which does mimic a bit of what Verstappen was like in his early days. So I can see how people are comparing him there, but it just depends how he gets hold of it.
Well, the reality is to push a car to its limits to get the maximum out of it, you've got to find where that limit is.
Yeah,
and not many drivers can push a car to its limits, find its limit, and not go beyond.
Yeah.
So that's probably what he's going to struggle with.
Yeah, and being young and thinking you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, just got to kind of rein that in. And
he's got that killer edge too. Like, he's not going to want to give an inch. So
yeah,
it's just that fine line. But yeah, should be a good battle to watch again. Red Bull. I've gone for the reigning champ, Verstappen over Lawson. If Lawson finished higher than Verstappen, that'd be the biggest upset out of any of these pairings.
Oh, that would be unreal. Because you'd have to think if Lawson was to beat Verstappen, he'd have to be in title contention.
That'd be fucking wild. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of Lawson, and he was sort of on my enemy card for a little bit, purely because he was going up against Danny Rick, and I'm sort of like, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
get Danny Rick up.
Kicked him out at the end of the season.
But I've got a bit of a soft spot for him. I'm keen to see him go all right. He does seem like a pretty decent sort of bloke, down to earth.
Yeah, we'll take the Kiwi under our win.
Basically Australian.
Little New Zealander, we'll take him as an Australian.
They just say fish weird, but that's about it.
Fish and chops.
McLaren, I reckon Norris is going to get the job over Piastri.
Yeah, I agree. I think my man Piastri's, I reckon he'll do well. He'll do even better than what he did last season. But I think pretty well everyone else is going to be as well. Norris is getting his wins. He's in his Drivers' Championship battle last year. He's got that experience now to go elbows out with Max. I think he's just going to grow even further.
Piastri had that red-hot patch of 4 to 6 races or so last year where he was matching it with Norris, if not beating him.
Yeah.
You know that he's got that in him, but it's just going to be, I'd imagine, more seasons under the belt to where that's consistent for half, 3/4 of a season.
Yeah.
Norris is going to be hungry, and I just think that he would have learnt a lot from those races, those battles with Max, the pressure, championship battle, all of that adds up. If it comes around again this year, he's been there, he's done that, and Piastri hasn't quite had that experience, and I think that does count for a lot when the pressure's on.
Yeah, and it's all about that consistency as well, like how you handle yourself under the pressure, but how you consistently put races together, even when the odds are stacked against you or you have a shit running quality or whatever, just finding that way to put the car together or to fight your way back through the field or whatever it is.
Half of it's a mental battle, really, isn't it? Like, keep yourself squared away. But just thinking back, like 23, Piastri had probably his biggest downfall was managing his tyres and not blowing them out too early and then being stuck on dead tyres and losing time.
Yeah.
And that was a big question mark on him going into 24. And 24, he seemed to get on top of that quite well. So, if he improves again into 25, don't know what could happen, but I think I'm banking on Norris will probably get the job done.
Yeah. Now, Ferrari, probably arguably one of the hottest topics in driver lineups.
Yes, all we hear about is Hamilton in red.
Yeah. He looks good. I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it'd look weird. It does, but it does suit him.
Yeah, he looks all right. It does seem a bit weird.
Oh, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
I think he probably looks better in the Mercedes gear.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not a bad
It was
look.
just natural.
Yeah.
It's just
clean.
natural.
But, yeah, Ferrari, literally everyone is talking about is Hamilton at Ferrari, his test day, his first little crash. And
yeah. Is he going to get his 8th World Championship?
Yeah, that little nugget. What was it if he crashes in practice or pre-season? The year after that, he goes on to win a title.
He's
so 26 he would win if that stat was to continue.
Yeah. So I think the stat was he did a test in the McLaren and then the following year he crashed. So he did the test and crashed. Then the following year he won the championship. Then when he went to Mercedes, did the test, crashed. Then the following year he won the championship. So he's gone to Ferrari, done the test, crashed. So then 2026, if that trend was to continue, would be his...
That'd be crazy if that happened.
8th World Championship, which is highly possible. He's got the capability. Likely he's going to have the car. It just depends who picks up the regs the best and
it'll be
how switched on.
It'll be a clean slate. Like, it's not like a car that Leclerc's had years in before and he knows the characteristics, and Lewis is trying to pick it up like this season.
Yeah. Which
is why I think Leclerc will beat him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to just jump in with as well.
But, 26, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Which is, get 25 out of the way first. But I am keen for 26, but I'm also going to be a bit disappointed if we have an absolutely insane season this year, which will be awesome, but then the regs change and then the recipe that is delivered in an insane season is just mixed up again, and then you may get one team that jumps out and dominates, and then you sort of end up with a snooze fest.
sometimes you just think like when 24 was the way it was, then if 25 was to continue like this, it's like shit. Like, should they've just scrapped it all and just continued? Like,
Bump the regs back to 27.
yeah, just don't worry about it. But then you've got new teams coming in. People switching brands, a brand new team as well with Cadillac.
And the problem, it's funny because we complain one season and then, they make changes and then we're complaining about that because you look at 23 and it was just Red Bull domination.
Something has to change.
You're like,
it's terrible.
Shit, we got 2 more years of this. We're just going to be sitting here watching Red Bull win and, who's going to be racing with Verstappen? Maybe that might be contentious, but who's going to come second in constructors? Rah, 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 rah. 24 turns all that on its head, and now we're like, no, don't change it. We've got a perfect recipe. And I mean, we're assuming that this season's going to be close, but what's to say that one team doesn't come out and touch them up?
Yeah.
Like, you sort of can't really make assumptions until you start seeing some data.
Yeah, it could get completely blown out from what we're thinking.
But yeah, so that's our wrap up of our Team A predictions. Just a little bit of waffle on what we think might happen. Should be interesting. We only really had one difference there with Bam and a knock on.
I think that was all. Yep.
That was just a little bit of a wild.
I don't mind that shout either. Don't mind it.
But yeah, when you read through the teams and the battles, even just the teammate battles alone is going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the fact that we hopefully should have quite an even, probably 4 teams at the top. Who knows what's going to go on with the middle? The best of the rest, as they call it.
Yeah, as it has been known to be said.
So that'll be, just so stoked, so keen.
Oh, man.
I mean, we're sitting here in February. We've still got a good month and a half before we see tracks rocking up to round 1.
I'm so bloody keen that it's not funny.
The winter break is so long, man.
Yeah.
It's sort of not in terms for the teams and the amount of work they have to do. But for us as fans, it's like, come on, just keep it going.
Yeah, for them it's probably great. It's probably not long enough, but
for us, it's like, come on.
Yeah, and Lawson did a pod interview with Pit Stop, and he was saying on there that normally he looks forward to the break, the end of season break.
Yeah.
He was like, now he just wants it over. He wants to get into the car. He's like, he doesn't know what to do with himself because he's never had to prepare himself for the start of an F1 season. He's like, man, what do I do? But
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's just out there every day thinking.
Well, they can't do anything. Like, they can do other test days and, historic days and whatever, and sims. But
I guess in his contract,
they can't sim the new car.
He couldn't do anything dangerous either. Like, he couldn't go into just another track car because it's like, well, you're our property that's worth millions of dollars and can't get you injured.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. I'm so hyped for it.
Fucking keen.
When do they have testing? Is that end of Feb? Early March.
I think it's just the week before, isn't it?
Yeah. They're doing testing at Australia this year. Yeah. Which will be... Yeah, it'll be interesting. See what happens.
And Drive to Survive, man, that comes out 7th of March.
Still a month out from that or so.
Australia starts 14th of March.
You've got a week to try and catch up on the previous season.
So we've got to wait until Drive to Survive, and then we've got to binge it in a week as well as testing and then get into it.
You almost want 2 weeks.
What do they do to us?
You really want 2 weeks to Drive to Survive.
Lucky we love Formula One.
Yeah, and not sleeping.
Yeah, no.
But you sort of want 2 weeks to sit there and just catch up on the previous season, refresh the mind, and then jump straight into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching the whole thing. I'm up to 2022 now.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm almost there.
The good old days of Danny Rick. You would have seen those, and then the slippery slope.
Man. Hindsight, eh? If you had stayed in that Red Bull.
But he ended with a very fat bank account.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
That man can't jump. He's got pockets that are so heavy.
He'll be back.
Stay tuned.
He'll be back.
Rightio. Thanks for listening to us waffle about our teammate predictions for the upcoming 2025 season. We will be doing actual predictions.
Yep.
Shortly, the coming week or two. Stay tuned for that. We appreciate you listening. We will catch you in the next one.
We sure bloody will.
Righto. Catch ya.
See ya.
Look at this. This is not a dog. This is a piece of shit.